some people love Disneyland, okay, then you can't get enough of the Christmas markets that you'll see and explore when you go with us to Germany. So we're excited that you joined us. We just wanted to make a quick announcement that if any of you are on Facebook Live watching this live, there is going to be a PowerPoint presentation and pictures of some of the areas that we'll be exploring. And so you can actually join us on that Zoom part of this presentation by simply sending an email to info@legacytoursandtravel.com. And my partner, Jill, will send back an email with the link to the Zoom meeting that we're in right now. So without any further ado, I want to introduce our tour guide that will be taking us to Germany. His name is Brian Knox. He likes to think of himself as of one of the weirdest guys around. Okay, so we're going to Germany with somebody very strange, just telling you, all right? He has often been called a Renaissance man. He sings opera and Broadway, teaches history and philosophy as a college professor, German, Hebrew, history, and philosophy at a charter school, and is an amateur magician, fly fisherman, attorney, and overall swell guy. He has taught as a professor of international law in law school. Brian served a mission in former East Germany very shortly after the Berlin Wall fell. He was in the former Soviet Union when it completely fell apart. He is so excited to introduce others to Germany and its rich Christmas environment. And that is what Germany is known for, is the Christmas markets. And we're excited that Brian is going to be taking us there. And as you can tell by his bio, it's going to be a very entertaining tour as well. And what better way to do your magic when you have a captive audience on a bus, right? I mean, so anyway, we again, one more before I turn the time over to Brian. He's going to be taking over here. I just want to let anyone know that's on our Facebook Live at this moment, if you would like to be part of the Zoom presentation where you can actually see the PowerPoint and the pictures, then all you need to do is simply send an email to info@legacytours, T-O-U-R-S, and travel.com, info@legacytoursandtravel.com. And without further ado, I want to turn the time over to Brian Knox.
Okay, if you will mute your screen. Thank you. I know it says that I'm Jill Clifford, but I promise you I'm not. Let me get the volume up here so I can hear if somebody comes in. Well, I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. I'm glad we didn't schedule this for last year, and I'm certainly hopeful that this year is going to work. We're at the mercy of two governments, but as far as I understand what we're seeing, things are looking good. We got COVID cases going down, and Germany's doing a good job of it. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm planning on it. So let me go ahead. You don't have to look at me much anymore. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We are going to get to my PowerPoint presentation. Just give me a moment here. I think this is, there we go. Okay. I am frankly not sure which Christmas market this is that we're seeing in this picture, but it looks real pretty. Can you see this? No. You can't see this. Let's get to where we can. Share. Are we getting it now? All right, there we go. Yeah, it's coming just a moment here, I think. How are we now? Good?
Yeah, and would you let the listeners know?
Oh yeah, listeners, if you would mute your speakers, or bring your speakers down and mute your button, or excuse me, don't bring your speakers down so you can hear me, but definitely mute your microphone so we don't get echoes. Yeah, like I said, somebody is not muted. Jack, I think, if I could get you to mute your speaker, your microphone. Oh, by the way, you have a very nice either German or Dutch name. It looks like Dutch to me. So anyway, welcome. We're going to have a lot of fun. First thing you need to know about German Christmas markets is when you walk into a German Christmas market, the sights and especially the smells. The smells just smell German. Gingerbread is it's called Lebkuchen in Germany, which means the cake, or the cake is kind of a difficult thing to translate there, but the cake of life. And it is so far better than any gingerbread you've had here. You can see here, there's anything marzipan that you want. Marzipan is a wonderful thing. There's candies, and a lot of people have criticisms of the German language. It's a little harsh. And that's why Germany has to be sweet otherwise, right? Even when you say, I love you in German, ich liebe dich. Sorry, I put a little emphasis on that. But this is a wonderful, wonderful place to visit. You will smell a mix of the Lebkuchen, all the other various treats. There's something called Dressner Stollen or Weihnachtsstollen. It's one of my favorite things at Christmas time. You'll have that. Those of you who might drink a little harder stuff than I do, there's what's called Glühwein, which is a spiced wine, and there's plenty of cocoa, beautiful cocoa for everybody else. The other thing is, if you've never had the experience of having a German Bratwurst in a German market, normally a German market has at least 2 families with their grills right there. And I don't think, are they seeing are you seeing my screen? Okay, because I can see myself. That's really disconcerting. By the way, I have never had a bratwurst served with a piece of parsley in my life, but you will see it served with these, what's called Brötchen. It's a crisp roll with soft in the middle, the absolute best rolls I've ever had in my life. That is the proper way to eat a bratwurst with some German mustard that's very spicy. It is you will have this opportunity at every single Christmas market and other places around the town on our tour. The other thing is you will have, I'll show you some of my stuff that I brought to show you, but you'll have an opportunity to buy no Chinese junk on this tour. If anybody goes home with a Chinese nutcracker, I'll probably send you home early. This is so much better, and the handwork, you're going to be going through the area of Germany that I like to tell people Germany is Christmas land. Well, the area of Germany we're going to go through is the Christmassiest part of Christmas land. It is absolutely fantastic. You're going to see booths loaded like this with stuff. Those are the nutcrackers. You see here a collection of some of the beautiful nutcrackers up top, along with at the bottom what is called Räuchermännchen, which translates loosely to a smoker. You take off, and I'll show you this in a minute, you take off the top part, you put in an incense cone, you light it, and that will actually smoke through the little hole. You can see through the guys have, can you see this? Yeah, okay. And it's absolutely wonderful. The other things in there that have the paddles on top, you may have seen these before, are called pyramids, Weihnachtspyramide. This is a large one. I have personally never seen one larger than 5 levels like this. I do not own a 5 level because it's out of my price range. I aspire to that, and your tips may just help me toward that. There's a subtle hint right there. The other little things next to it are, can you see my cursor as I move it? Oh, good. Okay, these are called Lichterbogen or Schwiebogen. Most of them will have, and I think I have oops, It doesn't look quite right. Right down here, why is that going? Please don't do that again. Okay, most of them have a nativity in the bottom. We're not going to go back because that would really mess me up. Some of the Christmas markets actually have one of these pyramids right in the square. And you see this here lit up. They are so magnificent, but the Germans also love their Christmas trees. And this is not the best image here, but I apologize. Germans came up with O Tannenbaum, right? So let's actually go to where we're going. We're starting in Munich. That's toward the bottom. Here, I'm not going to use this. That's what got me in trouble before. We're going to start in Munich down here. I don't think they'll see that. Yeah, I'm going to be careful and do this. Munich is right here. We're going to start there, fly right into Munich. Very popular place in Germany. By the way, if I refer to it as München, that's the way the Germans do, and that should be interchangeable. From Munich, we're going to take a day trip out. I think here, let me just show you. The Marienplatz in Munich is a quite magnificent place, and that is where the largest Christmas market is. I think I've got a view of that in a minute. This is called the Munich Residence. This was actually the palace of the monarchs of Bavaria when they actually had monarchs of Bavaria. It's been turned into a very large museum, and it's, gold gilt everywhere, just beautiful opulence. I hesitate to say opulence because of what I'm going to show you in just a moment and what you're going to experience on tour. We are going to go to Neuschwanstein Castle, the most famous castle in the world, hands down. This is what the Disneyland Castle is modeled after. And you can see that down here in relation to where Munich is. By the way, Garmisch-Partenkirchen is right by it. We're not going to get there, unfortunately. Absolutely gorgeous. But Neuschwanstein, as you can see, right in the middle of the beautiful Bavarian Alps. And I think I have a winter scene. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure if we're going to have any green stuff down below when we go, but this is what it looks like in the winter. And now, if you're not familiar with King Ludwig II, he absolutely loved French monarch Louis XIV's architecture. And Louis XIV was the palace builder. And Ludwig II basically bankrupted his kingdom by building palaces. And Neuschwanstein is just one of 3 that he did that were ridiculous. You can see Neuschwanstein was over here somewhere. Linderhof Castle or Schloss is not far away. We're going to go right over to there to the Linderhof Palace. And this is what it looks like with green. You will not see it with green. I'm sorry. You will see it like this. And I also think that that's magnificent. You're going to see 2 different sets of mountains on this tour, the Alps and the Erzgebirge. And we'll talk about that in a minute. The inside of this place is, now here's where I will use the word opulence. Everything is gilded. Ludwig II used to come here. This was his country estate. And he would hang out in his Hall of Mirrors, which actually mirrors the Versailles. The Versailles has a Hall of Mirrors, and he would hang out in there and light thousands of candles just because of the effect that gave. And he stayed up all night. We'll talk more about Ludwig II on the tour. The other thing was the Grotto, and his amazingly ornate boat. He loved to row across his little grotto that is an actual cave with a pond in it. I call myself one of the weirdest guys around. I think he beat me maybe, but we might have had lunch together. I don't know. This is the Marienplatz with the Christmas market. You can see you're not going to get through this thing. I really don't think. There are several other Christmas markets in Munich. After Munich, we're going to head north here to a city named Regensburg. Regensburg, you see if I can point that out. There we go, right there. Regensburg is on the confluence of 3 rivers. One of them is the Danube, which I bet you've heard of. The other one of the others is the Regen River, which is why Regensburg. Rich history. This is one of the most visited places in Germany. In 90 AD, this was built as a Roman fort. In 179 AD, Marcus Aurelius expanded that into a major fort. And as a result, this very, very old architecture, it was not bombed heavily. There were a couple of targets that were taken out in Regensburg in World War II, but fortunately, most of the city was preserved. And so it has been designated a UNESCO World History Site. This bridge you see at the bottom is the Old Stone Bridge, and I believe that is the oldest bridge over the Danube River. And just absolutely gorgeous. This is a picture of their Christmas market and their main square. You can see it's not as big as Munich, but it's still amazingly vibrant. You're going to get a mix of extremely large Christmas markets down to village Christmas markets on the tour. Okay, from Regensburg, you can see it in the middle of the screen down at the bottom. From Regensburg, we're going to be going up, and I believe, I'm not sure if we're going to cut through the Czech Republic with the bus. I'm guessing not. You guys probably don't know either. Okay, it's likely we go up here right through Hof. Hof is the sister city of Ogden, Utah. Don't get too excited. Hof is not a very beautiful, I'm sorry, it's not a very beautiful city as far as cities go in Germany. But we're going to come up here to a town called Annaberg-Buchholz. Now, when we come into this area, Plauen here starts what's called the Erzgebirge, or the Iron Mountains. This is the most Christmassy part of Germany right here. And you'll see why in a minute. When we get to Annaberg-Buchholz, again, not very good resolution, I'm sorry. What you see up here in the top is St. Anna's Church, St. Anne's Cathedral or Dome. And then down below here is the Christmas market. This is a town of about, I think, 35,000 people. Very beautiful. And we're going to get a chance to go in here to a place called Manufaktur der Träume, or Factory of Dreams. It is a museum dedicated to toys. I mean, dolls, doll houses, Christmas toys, and it's really quite amazing. May not be your thing if it isn't. More Christmas market time, right? Or Bratwurst time. There's no loss on this tour. From there, we're going to stay overnight in Annaberg-Buchholz, so you get a taste of that smaller town. Seifen, though, if you walk away from Seifen with the kinds of feelings that I have towards Seifen, you will never forget it. Seifen has maybe 2,000 people in that little village. Maybe not even that many. In the 1500s, craftsmen from Seifen started sending their handcrafted Christmas toys down to Nuremberg. And from that, it was hundreds of years where everybody in the town was involved in the Christmas market trade, the Christmas toy trade. And as a result, there's a museum there completely dedicated to Christmas toys, the nutcrackers, the smokers, you will see handcraft there you may not have known even existed. From there, we're going to go up to Dresden. Big change. Dresden, if you know the history, Dresden was bombed at the end of World War II by the Germans and almost leveled, especially in the areas around the Elbe River. And this is all of the central Dresden is surrounding the Elbe River. And this is Dressner Street market is known worldwide as one of the greatest Christmas markets in the world. And I think you're going to fall in love with it. There are 3 big ones in Dresden. Again, this is where you get the stolen.
But let me try to get off of that. Well, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, someone's got their speaker on. If you can mute your microphone. I'll take questions later. But in Dresden, there's called the Zwinger. And this building may look rather large, but when you get close to it, you realize that it's really, really large. You can see people right next to this, and it is gorgeous. When I saw Rick Steves do a piece on Dresden, he was in the Zwinger. This is something you got to see inside and out. We're going to be there. Now are you seeing everything on my screen? Okay. I want you to see this church on the right. Can you see that? All right. This is called the Frauenkirche in Dresden. And when I was there on my mission, it looked like your picture on your left. That was all you could see of the Frauenkirche because it had been bombed. And this has been since restored to its former glory, incorporating that piece right there. You guys, are we okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure. We got activity happening beyond me. It's. Oh, okay. All right. I am so excited to go back to the Frauenkirche, to tell you the truth. This is gorgeous. And that whole marketplace in front, I believe this one is also full of a Christmas market. From Dresden, we're going to head south along the Elbe River to one of my favorite fortresses. Now, you saw we did 2 palaces earlier in the trip. Now we're actually doing fortresses, and Königstein has a really rich history that I won't get into. If you go on the blog at Legacy, there is a blog article that includes some of the history of Königstein. Standing on the battlements overlooking the Elbe River is something I'll never forget, and I hope you also never will forget, especially in winter. That's quite majestic. We're going to head from there up north of Dresden to Meissen. If you're familiar with the history of porcelain, Meissen has a porcelain factory that's world renowned, and people spend a lot of money on Meissen porcelain. I believe we're going to the porcelain factory as part of our tour, and it's quite beautiful. Those of you who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the first principal of Brigham Young Academy, which turned into BYU, is Carl G. Meiser. This is his birthplace, and his home is actually there, and maybe we'll get a chance to drive by and stop, and I don't know. I hope. Next, we're going to head over to Freiberg. I'm not going to get into this very much. This is the Freiberg Lds Temple. And the history of this thing is absolutely miraculous. And it holds quite a spot in my heart. I hope, I know we're going to go by. I don't know if there's, I don't remember how much time, and you guys can tell me, and maybe we don't know how much time there is to be there, but you can see, I'm gonna lead you along here. So Dresden, down to Königstein, along the Elbe River, up again to, there's Meissen, again along the Elbe, and then we're gonna head down to Freiberg. I know it looks like everything's spread out quite a bit. That's actually pretty close together. Things are just closer together in Europe if you've not been there before. We're not staying overnight in Meissen or Freiberg. We're gonna be 2 nights in Dresden, because there's so much to see in that region. Leipzig, we're going to come over here to the left side of the screen to Leipzig. Leipzig is not as amazingly beautiful as Dresden or Munich. I would say you're going to see a lot more East German influence, but what you will see is a few things that I think will influence you for your life. This is the main marketplace. This is one of the biggest Christmas markets in Germany. It spills out from this main marketplace. You're only seeing part of it. It spills out from the main marketplace down neighboring roads and into neighboring marketplaces. If you're not careful, and we're going to make sure you're careful, you can get lost pretty easily here. We're not losing anybody in Germany. And if we do, I volunteer to have the company send me back to look for you. This is the St. Thomas Cathedral, called the Thomanerkirche. This is where Johannes Sebastian Bach is buried. And I had the rare opportunity, at least I think it's rare, to attend a mass written by Bach.
Wow.
In the cathedral where he is buried. And we're going to be going by there. I'm also putting together a tour of the German Reformation and German classical music. And this will be part of that tour, but come on this tour and the other one, you know. If you want to see Germany in the summer, you'll come. Now, this is the famous Gavont house in Leipzig. And if you know classical music, you've heard of the Gavont House Orchestra. It is very famous. And in my opinion, even when I was there, this was not a beautiful building, but it's worth seeing because it's the Gavont House. This is what this is what the communists did when they wanted to make something beautiful. They made it almost beautiful, which made it even uglier. But the statues and the pillar out front and the fountain are beautiful. And I just think this is worth seeing, and we're going to see it. This is another thing that, okay, I want you to look right here in the bottom. Those are people right there, which should give you an idea of how big this thing really is. This is called the Völkerschlacht Denkmal, and we will be going inside and to the top. And this thing is a monument to the Battle of the Nations. If you know your history of Europe at all, this is where Napoleon was really turned back. Prussia, Sweden, England, I forget who else, but there were 5 nations involved, and it was really fought in the streets of present-day Leipzig. And this thing's majestic. Kind of ugly in a way, but you learn to like that kind of thing sometimes. Maybe you like that. I loved it. So we're going from Leipzig, and we're going over to Erfurt over here. We're gonna talk. I'd love to stop on the way in Weimar because of the importance of Weimar. Weimar, obviously, the Weimar Republic. This is where the Third Reich rose up. This is also, there's a concentration camp called Buchenwald that's right up here north of Weimar. I don't want to attend. We're not doing any concentration camps. This is a happy tour, but you can see it from Weimar, the gates. And Weimar is actually also the birthplace and residence of Johann von Goethe, who is one of the most amazing literary minds ever, I think. In Erfurt, by the way, I want you to see Eisenach over here. In case this doesn't go back, I don't remember how I set this up. Eisenach is where the entire New Testament was translated by Martin Luther. Part of the Old Testament, and he went there to flee the Catholic Church. Here's Erfurt's Christmas market, and this is incredible. The cathedral on the left is Catholic. The one on the right is Lutheran or Evangelisch, and it's one of the only times you'll see the two right next to each other. And it's a beautiful, beautiful marketplace. I think you'll love Erfurt. But yes, where did I, okay. From Erfurt, we're gonna go over to Eisenach, see the Wartburg, where Martin Luther translated. And there's a story I love, I gotta share it now. You will see the ink blot on the wall where Martin Luther threw his inkwell at Satan. Oh. He said he saw the devil and threw his inkwell at him. I don't know if maybe they've darkened the ink spot over the years, or I don't know. I hope not. Speak of the devil, yes. From there, we're actually going a ways down here. We're going through the Turinger Wald. The Turinger Forest. There are 2 great, dark, old forests in Germany, the Black Forest and the Turinger Wald, and we're going through one of them. It's going to be fantastic. Coburg is at the bottom here. I love Coburg. This is one of the only areas in my mission that was in former West Germany. I was in former East Germany. This is the second fortress we are going to be visiting. And it is lit up like this at night. This is the other place Martin Luther stayed and translated the Bible. And this isn't as well known. The Coburger princes are actually intermingled in the English, the British royalty. This is their marketplace. I was here during Christmas. I love it. Now you can see this is the old Rathaus, which is City Hall. Up here, there's the fortress. That's Festa Coburg on a hill overlooking, and you can see that from all around the area. It's gorgeous. Inside that fortress, if you love medieval history and medieval military like I do, there are a couple of museums inside of armor and weapons, and one of the only places you'll see a full knight's armor on top of a fully armored horse. I don't remember if it was an actual horse that was stuffed. I think it was actually. We're going to go down there, from there to Nuremberg. That's not the way they say it. They say Nuremberg, but we know it as such. This is, I know I've said these other places were some of the most well-known Christmas markets. This is the most well-known Christmas market probably in the world. This is the Frauenkirche in Nuremberg across the Christmas market. Another view of the Christmas market, well lit. Again, the Frauenkirche. This is St. Sebastian's Church. These are, Nuremberg has some of the most rich church. I can't remember what that one's called. Well, no, that one was the Frauenkirche before. I don't remember what this one is called, but it's a church. And it's beautiful. By the way, we're gonna head back from there to Munich, and then back to sunny, inverted Utah. Surely coming back to inverted skies in December, right? Maybe not. I hope not. Sorry, inversion. So let me get out of screen sharing somehow. And did we do this? If there are any questions, this is the time. Let me see if I can stop sharing. Very good. Oh yeah, okay. You can unmute. I'm being schooled. I'm being educated here. You can either unmute and ask a question, or you can do it in the chat. If you don't have questions, this is a short meeting.
Just one quick question. When do the markets typically open then, the Christmas markets? Because, you know, we're going the end of November, early December.
Yep. The Christmas markets open either on Friday or Saturday directly after, well, that obviously it's not based on our Thanksgiving, but it's on the Advent. This year they're opening, we're going to be getting into Munich on the opening day of the Christmas market there. Any other Christmas markets through the region are opening either that night or the next day. So, and generally they go through the 23rd, sometimes through the 24th of December, usually just the 23rd though.
Okay.
Dates and prices there. You know what? With tip, it's only $30,000 per person. No, I'm. Do you guys want to answer this, or no? It's $2,700 per person, based on double occupancy plus airfare. I think airfare.
So we have a
group price for $1,400 per person there. Salt Lake to Munich. On Delta, is that cheaper or better? Or
well, they say
that's great.
Our seats. A lot of people like Delta.
Yeah, good. Okay. Was that? Oh, what does that? Oh, dates. Sorry, dates. Day after Thanksgiving is the day we're leaving. So it's the November 26th. And we are boarding the plane in Munich on December 7th, coming home. What does this, what do the prices include? It's lodging. Yes, coach. It's a luxury coach bus, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't read very well while I'm trying to, but I remember it's breakfast every day. A couple of. Oh, let's do this. Let's let Chris do this.
All right. So
Oh, wait a minute.
There we go. Okay, so what is included? It's going to be 11 nights at a 3 to 4 star hotel accommodation, depending on which of the cities we're in, determines the hotel. But we always have great hotel accommodations, and we try to get the hotels so that they're right in the city so you can walk out and access the markets very easily. It includes a breakfast every morning. We also include a welcome and a farewell dinner that Legacy Tours hosts for that. We won't worry about an air conditioned, but we do have heaters on those buses. So we do have a heated motor coach, and we offer transfer to and from the airport. It includes all of the entrance fees to the sites that we visit. We also use, which is not all tour companies do this, but we actually have listening receivers. And so Brian will be on a headset, as well as other guides. Brian is our main guide that is going to be taking us around. But as we get into these different little cities, you're also going to have local guides that will give us more of an in-depth view and history and culture of those particular cities. And so we've got different guides that will join us throughout the tour. They will be on a listening device, and you'll have a receiver, which allows you to not have to be huddled right next to Brian to hear every word he says, but you can be off kind of exploring, not too far away, but it gives you a chance to really be relaxed and listening and hearing everything that's going to be said, whether it's from Brian or one of the local tour guides. And we also make sure that those tour guides in Germany will speak English. We think that's very important. Now,
And if you can't understand them, I'll help.
Yeah, and Brian, fortunately, is fluent in German, so that's going to be very, very easy for us to maneuver while we're over there. And then, of course, we have a local tour manager that will help with any logistics of the tour. What's not included, just FYI, is the airfare. And so that's why Legacy always wants to try to provide an opportunity for a group air passage with, we usually work with Delta. They are good about doing block seats for us, but you don't have to use Delta. If you've got your own miles, or if you've got other flyer programs that you want to use, you're welcome to do that. We'll just, yeah, and if you, exactly, Jill's just saying, if you want to go early, which some of you may want to go in early and do a little bit of extra exploring on either the front end or the back end, then you can make your own reservations that way. It also will not include any other meals than the ones that I talked about. So every morning you'll get breakfast and you've got 2 dinners, but any other lunches and dinners will be on your own. Bratwurst every, might get old after a while, but you know what? I've been to Germany and I'm telling you, it's so good. Okay. Let's see. We also option, this is something that Legacy is very unique in doing, but we offer priority coach seating. And it's just $10, but it's first come, first serve. A lot of people like to be at the front of the bus. And so we kind of offer reserve seating for those that book early, just like the airlines. And so if you're interested in wanting to get a deposit down and get signed up, then you can get your name on the list for our reserve seating on the coach. And that's usually about the first 5 to 6 rows of the bus are set up for reserve seating. The other thing it does not include are the tips for the coach, driver, and the tour manager and the guides. And so, yeah, and so that's not included, but we would go over in detail what is appropriate for those types of things. So any tips that would be appropriate for anybody on the tour would be extra. Okay, so the bottom price is $2,700 per person based on double occupancy.
And if you want to mute yours, and I'll
talk about.
Yeah, where do I go?
There we go. Okay. One other thing that's included, I actually own a body care company. It's called Bare Naked Body Care. Bear is in the animal. It's more than likely that you'll get little surprises throughout the tour. One thing that they've asked me to discuss is temperature and clothing. Temperature is actually similar to Utah, but a little bit more, it's more humid. So you're going to want to layer with clothing. Definitely bring a coat and some sturdy shoes that are, I recommend waterproof, and I love wool. I have a love affair with wool, but certainly some warm socks and shoes that can walk around and get wet without you getting wet. Because there is snow in Germany, especially in Christmas time. So.
Another quick question.
Wait a minute. You know what? I forgot this. I'm sorry. I forgot. I brought my little guys with me. A few of them. I collect these. This is one of those smokers that I talked about. If you haven't seen these before, you put a little cone right here of incense, and there are different smells of incense. You light the top of it, and it burns for quite a while. The smoke then rises and comes out of the guy's mouth, and he is a smoker. And you got to come back with many. These are fantastic, and as you see, that's my Scottish guy, but you can get them in all kinds of different configurations. Of course, nutcrackers abound in these areas, and they are not like the Chinese ones that you pick up. This guy right here is heavy. I joked that I wanted something to show you that I could beat things with it, but I know I'm not going to do that to there's some heft to this, and that's the kind of stuff you're going to get is true quality handmade stuff in this area. Okay, I'm done.
Quick question I have is using cards.
All right. What I wanted to let our listeners know is, okay, we've talked about temperature and clothing. Another thing to keep in mind, you will need to dress warm, as Brian has talked about. I think most of the time, though, it's going to be in the evening, because a lot of times we're on the bus, we get to a site, we walk in, you're not outside for long extended periods of time during the day per se, but evening is where you're on your free time. And that's the thing I want everyone to understand is you're going to have a lot of free time once we finish with our day tour, where you can explore and just enjoy the markets and just have so much fun in these little villages and walking the streets and all of that. So just realize we will give you plenty of time to do that while you're over there. The other thing is, if you're interested and are wanting to get your spot reserved for the tour, we're going to offer a special, normally to hold a seat and keep your place for the tour. We usually have a $300 deposit to do that. But if you're interested and want to participate, we want to give a special where we're going to offer you just $100 to reserve your spot for the tour. And then the remaining balance of the tour wouldn't be due until it's like 90 days out. 90 days out on European tours. And see, that's going to put us, holy cow, we're into December, November, kind of like in
end of August.
Like the end of August. And see, by that time, we're going to have a much better window and a much better understanding of what travel looks like. And that's also a time when our airfare is due. And so just by throwing down $100 and getting your spot reserved, there's no harm with that, because we're not going to be requesting deposits if we don't have a real clear understanding that, not deposits, but final payment, unless we know for sure that Germany is open, that their borders are allowing Americans to come over. And by August, we're going to be seeing a lot. In fact, I just wanted to share that starting, I believe, in April, all the airlines are starting to increase their flights. Right now, they've been running at a very, very bare schedule, and they expect by summer to be doubling the air travel that they are experiencing right now. So they're anticipating that things are going to be opening up. And so we just wanted to pass that on to you. If you're feeling like, gosh, I'd like to I'm excited about this, and it's $100. You don't lose your deposit. It's refundable. But if you want to go ahead and be part of this and get signed up, then it's just $100, and that will end on Friday at midnight of this week.
So, and I think they can hear me from your speaker. My voice is an opera singer's voice, right? So Douglas asked about using Visa in the marketplace places. I mean, certainly, Germans are capitalists, and almost, every serious vendor has a merchant services account. So they should, just as almost everybody here would have some kind of a Square or something else to run your credit card. Germans are up on that as well. You may run across the rare one that doesn't. I always suggest some amount of cash, but not too much. What's that? Euros.
They'll be euros.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, euros. Yeah, not Deutschmark.
So they'll have to transfer. It's not transfer, but
convert
a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't carry too much. I have little tricks that I was in the Army Special Forces, so I don't tend to trust people very much. So I always carry a big wad of nothing in one pocket and my big bills somewhere else, and
Okay.
little trick. But you guys probably have preached that one, do you?
Not that one.
Oh, okay. No,
Well, small
I have
bills,
other
yes.
tricks too.
Like just have your
so-
money on you all the time.
yeah, I don't.
In a place that, yeah.
I don't get mugged very easily, but I'm not the obvious target either. So,
Well,
yeah, no, you can use your credit card at most places.
And I want to let everyone know that's on tonight is before we travel to Germany, we will have a meeting, a pre-tour meeting before. Usually it's within a month to 3 weeks out, and we will go into detail on packing and travel tips and how to keep safe and money exchange and converters so we will go into all of that down the road. We make sure everybody's really prepared on travel on the front end before they take off. So that would be happening, a little bit closer to the departure. Do we have any other questions?
Oh, by the way, one other thing. Most Germans in former West Germany speak English.
Oh, I was just thinking that.
In fact, most of them in former East Germany speak English, at least to a certain degree. So even if I'm not around, you're probably going to be able to get around these marketplaces, and someone's going to be able to help you.
That is good to know. So I think it would be good. We'll have Brian put together just a little. Well, you know what? There's apps now. If people have their phone.
Oh no, I have to teach one.
Okay, we'll let him teach.
Why don't you go ahead and mute yourself, and I got to teach one real quick.
So, this is fun. So, not only am I fluent in German, I'm fluent in what's called Sächsisch, and that's what they speak in Saxony or Sachsen, which is where we're going to be in the Erzgebirge. Dresden through Leipzig is the Sachsen region, and they speak really weird in this area. In fact, the rest of Germany makes fun of them. So this is a greeting. Normally in German, you're going to say Guten Tag, and that's, no, not in deep Erzgebirge. When you're in Annaberg, Buchholz, or Seifen, they say either Glück auf, which means literally good luck coming up. Okay, that's a minor. That's what they used to tell the miners when they'd go down. They'd say Glück auf, good luck coming back up. But usually in some of these very deep regions, they even leave off the Glück, and they'll just say auf. And to call someone a Mensch is kind of like calling him a dude. So sometimes you'll be walking around and they'll be like, auf Mensch. So you need to practice saying auf. It's horrible, but no, don't say that. Just say Guten Tag. They'll be okay.
All right. Well, we will, like I said, we will make sure that you'll be able to communicate either through Brian's little slang, German slang, or now there's apps that you can download on your phone, honestly, and they work really, really well. So it's not the hindrance or the roadblock that it used to be. At one time, if you felt like, oh, I don't speak German, and if I want to go off and wander alone and Brian's not there, and I only know a little bit of German. I know Guten Tag and I can count to 10, you know, but that's about it. So if we don't have any other questions, I want to thank everyone for joining in tonight. We are going to be posting this on our YouTube channel, Legacy Tours and Travel. And we want to have this available so that others that weren't able to join us tonight will be able to watch in. But anyway, we look forward to having you travel with us if Germany is a destination that you're excited to visit, and especially at Christmas. I mean, because I can just tell that spending the first part of December in Christmas land is going to make 2021 the most remarkable Christmas you've had. So thank you again, and we'll travel with you soon. And we do want to let you know that we're going to have another presentation that will be next week on the 4th of March, but you can look at our Facebook page for more details on that. That should be our tour to Egypt. We'll be highlighting that one. So anyway.
Not as cold as the German Christmas market tour.
That will not be as cold, no. But anyway, safe journeys, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.